Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Chinemerim, and if you are stopping by for the first time, hello, you are most welcome. Please do well to like this video, share and subscribe to my channel. And to my returning subscribers, you are amazing. Thank you for coming back. Accommodation is now a big deal for both those moving to the UK and those that are currently in the UK. So many people don't have where to stay. People have stayed in the hotels for months, and it's not cheap. I've been getting DMs like, how do I secure accommodation? How do I get over this accommodation crisis? I've been in the UK for a while and nothing is happening. Please help me. I wish I could help. I wish I had one to rent. At least I would have rented to, my people, but no place to rent. Even hotels, some hotels are actually fully booked, some Airbnbs are fully booked. Even families in the UK, their houses are also fully booked. But in this video, I'm just going to tell you how you can secure accommodation faster and easily without having to go through these things that people are going through, and what you will do after you secure your accommodation. Because the things you should do after securing an accommodation in the UK, especially if you are renting, is even more important than looking for the house. Sometimes you don't want to have any bad experience when it comes to renting a house in the UK. So the first thing you should do if you're moving to the UK soon is, once your visa have been approved, you are sure you are moving, you should start looking for a place to stay. Don't say, when I come, I will look for a place. No, it's not like before. Before, you may be able to say that, but now you would hardly get a place if you move like that, especially if you are coming with your family. So once you get your visa, the day you're getting your visa, start calling your friends and families, those you trust. Tell them, please help me secure a place. I'm looking for accommodation. Stop making your travel plans too much secret. It's no longer secret that almost everybody in Nigeria and in most other countries are looking to leave the country to the UK or Canada or America. So stop making it too much secret. Your village people will not come for you. Just tell people in the UK, friends and families, those you can trust, say, please help me get a place. I've heard that it is quite difficult to get a place in the UK at the moment. Can you help me search? They can help you search for a place and they can secure one for you. However, when they tell you the price of the accommodation they've gotten for you, don't convert it to Naira or to your local currency and say, for 1 month, and you'll be like, this one wants to scam me. No, it's not like that. House prices in the UK is something else at the moment. Like, every day it is increasing. I know some people may want to rip people off, but then house rent is now very costly. You hardly see a 2-room of less than £1,000. Unlike before, you could see one of £700, £800, but now you hardly see something like that. If you are a single student, you should also check out with your university, because universities have school hostels. It may not be very cheap sometimes, but for this you'd also need to do it on time, because school hostels are also getting fully booked. So whether you are single or married, you can also check with your university and see if there is any alumni group they can connect you with, so you can connect with people, and then people may help you get accommodation from those groups. But like I said earlier, please be careful. Also, there are so many Telegram groups online at the moment. You can join them, and I've seen people get help from those groups. So yeah, you can join them, tell them what your situation is and about accommodation. And sometimes you could see people that will say, oh, there is this availability somewhere, or do you want to check it out and all. Number two, while your friends and families are helping you search for accommodation, you should also help yourself search for accommodation. You can do this online, search on Zoopla, Rightmove, Spare Room, Room to Rent, Facebook Marketplace. See, people get houses on Facebook Marketplace, even Gumtree. I know if you're not in the UK, you may say you can't use any of these apps. You can use them, all these online platforms. You can use them whether you are in the UK or not. Just go to Facebook Marketplace, change your location to UK, and then maybe your city where you're schooling, and you can start searching for houses to rent, bedrooms to rent, rooms to share, stuff like that. But when searching for a place using these platforms, stay careful as well so you don't get scammed, because at the moment scam is also on the increase. If you find a place and you are happy and convinced to pay for it, you can go ahead and pay for it and secure it. If you don't, someone else will pay for it and you go back to square one, because people are desperate at the moment too, so they may even offer more than you are offering. Before, when searching for a house, you may be like, I want a furnished one, I want a 3-bedroom house with 2 toilets. Yeah, you may be lucky to get a furnished one, but if you get an unfurnished one, please go for it, because if you stay waiting for the perfect house, you may not get one and you may stay outside for a very long time. So if you get a furnished one, lucky you. But if you get an unfurnished one, kindly go for it as well and furnish it gradually. Don't try to impress anybody to furnish it quick and say I've arrived. No, you have arrived, but you just have to calm down. So don't try to impress your village people by furnishing the house and trying to take pictures and be like, my house in the UK. No time for that, not in this season. And you can go on Facebook Marketplace to search for items. You may see some of them free or very cheap. You could see cushion, beds, and stuff like that you can live in the house with. And with all these things, with time, you make up a very comfortable house. Then for the part of looking for a 3-bedroom house with 3 toilets, you may not really find it in this country. You may find a 4-bedroom house or even a 5-bedroom house with only 1 toilet. And I'm like, what is that for? And then it is real. It is happening in this UK. Like in Nigeria, you could see a 3-bedroom house with 3 toilets or even 4 toilets and bathroom. I know there are some houses in the UK that are really, but they cost millions of pounds to buy as well, or even to rent. There is no other magic to get a house in this place. There's no magic that I know apart from this one. After all this, you don't get a place. You can also book with families if you've got one or a friend to stay with them when you move into the UK. And this will save you money instead of going to hotels and staying in a hotel or Airbnb. Although this may not be easy sometimes depending on your person and their person. But yeah, you could do that to save yourself money. And if you stay with family and friends, they may be able to teach you about the country you've moved into. So you're not like a JJC. If at all you don't find any family, let's say you don't have any family, you don't have any friend in the UK, you've not found a house, you've not done anything, and you're moving very soon, you can go online and search for cheap Airbnbs or cheap hotels, pay for them, and then get a room booked so that when you come, you have a place to stay. Like, it is that serious at the moment. Finally, if you haven't gotten a place and you're looking to move with your family, I would advise you to leave your family behind. The main applicants should move to the UK and go through this hassle, especially if you've got kids. So leave them behind with your wife or your husband, depending on who the main applicant is. Then move to the UK and go through this hassle alone. Yeah, it may be more comforting if you have a partner with you, but how about the kids? Documents you require when you are looking for a house is your passport, your BRP, your payslip, and a guarantor's form if you cannot pay for the house rent for up to 6 months. Paying for a house rent for up to 6 months is not very easy. So sometimes they may ask you, okay, if you can't pay for up to 6 months, you should get them a guarantor, someone that will be able to guarantee that if you don't pay, he or she will pay the house rent. I know these documents may be a bit somehow, especially if you are outside the UK looking for a house. How will you get your BRP and all of that? But yeah, you may be able to get a house without all this. But if you are in the UK, most people would require the payslip to be sure that you can pay for the house, your BRP to be sure that you are legal in the country, then your passport, which is just a form of ID. Now the next bit is the things to do afterwards. So after you've gotten a place to stay in the UK, the very first thing you should do is to take pictures of the condition of the house, especially if the house is not very new and not very okay. You should take pictures of the house and save it. The reason why you should do this is because most houses you have to pay some deposit, and by the end of a tenancy period you want to leave, this deposit will be refunded based on the condition of the house. So if the landlord says, oh, my house is spoiled, you spoiled things in my house, it's not looking good again and all, they may not refund you a deposit. And what that means is that you will lose that money. So what if the house was actually that bad before you moved in? And especially if the house is furnished, take pictures of everything in the house. You would need them when you want to leave the house, especially if your landlord is not a very nice person. The second thing to do is, if you are a student, you should get a council tax exemption letter from your school and submit this to your local council. This will make them exempt you from paying council tax. So everyone in the UK is supposed to be paying council tax. However, students are exempted from paying council tax. And if you are moving as a worker, you should find out how much you will pay as your council tax. You should pay your council tax. Don't mix paying council tax because it is very, very important. Failure to pay this may land you in trouble, and negligence or ignorance may not be an excuse. The next thing you should do is to speak to your landlord about your gas, your electricity, your water, and all that. Maybe he can tell you which one is cheaper, the cheaper options. You need to know which one is the cheapest option in your area. You don't want to be paying for those very costly ones. You should also find out if you are using a prepaid meter, because you don't want your lights to go off in the middle of the night, and you don't want your gas to go off while you are cooking And somehow in this country, everything is connected to your light. Once you don't have light, I'm not sure you can be able to put on your gas cooker, you can't be able to charge your phone, you can't do so many things, and that means you are grounded. Another important thing to do is to find out the cheapest shops around you. See, let me tell you, this may be underrated. You should not underrate it, because at the end of the day, it may save you a lot of money. Finally, look for a church and join one, because yes, it's very important. And you may even join a church and they would guide you. You won't make certain mistakes, like so many mistakes people make in this country when they move. I mean, everybody must have made one mistake or the other, but there's a mistake that joining a church can save you from making. And also, you join a church because of your belief. If you're a Christian, of course, you should join a place of worship, be a member of a place of worship. I know you may be tempted to work more than you worship, because you know when the bills are piling up, the issues are piling up, no money and all, tuition fee, you're being threatened and all, you would like to, well, let's do this thing this way, which is quite understandable. So many people have been in those shoes before. But I'd advise you, if you can mark out a time and say, okay, this is time for this, this is time for this, this is time for that, and then work around it, I think you should be able to make it work. To be honest, you will get more help when you join a church and better advice than trying to do everything by muscle. It's not by muscle every time, oh. So try and join a church, all right? And yes, that's that about this video. This test will help you in at least getting accommodation faster than those that had no plans at all. Now, please share this video, as it will be helpful to people. Until I see you again in the next one, do take care, stay safe, and bye.